guys, hi, how's it going? How y'all doing today? Hopefully today finds you well. Today I am doing my Project Pan update for the month of November. I can't hardly believe that it is the month of November already, but where has this year gone? I feel like it's just been one thing after another, and it should have been the longest year of my life, and it's not been. It's actually been so quick. I hope that sounds like something you're interested in watching. Project Pan is fun, and it just sparks joy in me because I get to see myself actually physically use these products to completion, because this is the project that I have going on my channel that is a completionist Project Pan. So it is a project that when I roll in a product, my ultimate goal is to finish that product. And we have finished quite a few in this Project Pan this year so far. And I know that we can get a couple more products out of my collection in the next 2 months utilizing this Project Pan. So if that sounds like something you're interested in watching, please keep on watching. For those of you new here, hi, my name is Donna. I am a lover of all things high-end colorful beauty and self-care. Ultimately, this that we're doing right here, this is my self-care. I enjoy coming out here talking to you about the good, the bad, the ugly, all the things that are coming into my collection and leaving my collection. I do a lot of project panning, reviews of items, a lot of just makeup chit chat. This is my happy space. I hope that this is also your happy space, and that at the end of the video you'll want to subscribe before you go, because I'd love to have you along for this crazy ride of mine. And with that said, let's roll into this Project Pan update for November. I haven't got a lot of great news, but I've got a lot of great news, so let's jump in. The older and older I get, the more I realize that I need to stretch more. My whole body is just sore today for whatever reason, and it doesn't matter. Like, I could have went to bed perfectly fine, but woke up and feel like somebody beat the hell out of me. Like, what is that? That is so weird. Alright, so as you guys know, and you heard in the introduction, this is my completionist Project Pan. I like just to roll into this because there really isn't a whole lot of chit-chat about this project, except for it's the Project Pan. We're trying to complete all the products in this project, and I have a goal of emptying 50 makeup items this year. I usually hit about $3,000 in total beauty empties, but I want to have 50 of those beauty empties be from my makeup category this year. It comes super close the last several years, and last year I hit 46. So this year when we rolled into Project Panning season, or Project Panning reboot, I had come up with, I think, 35 different things that I put on my planned pan list. I know I've went through so many of them, but there's also quite a few that I haven't went through and that I'm probably not going to get to. And I haven't filmed a planned pan yet for 2026, so I should probably get on that. But that said, let's roll into this oldest to newest. This one right here is the Laneige Lip Treatment. This was not to be confused with the Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask, which looks like this. This is a treatment. It's not a mask, I don't think. It has a different kind of applicator. This guy pops out of here, and I haven't been able to find this for sale since I started linking it. So I've been putting something else similar in its place, also by Laneige, but this is what the product currently looks like. And it was pretty full when we rolled it into Project Pan, I believe last year at some point. This year it has been in since the 1st of January after being in the Project Pan the year previous, and this rolled in this year at 39.29 grams of product. Last month it weighed 36.41 grams of product, and this month it weighs 36 grams of product for a total usage of 0.41 grams of product. This is a product that I use all the time, actually. I mean, it's real pretty. I put it on my lips when I come into my makeup room every single day to like apply makeup. It's the first thing that goes on because I use it to like, you know, soften up my lips for appropriate wear of lipstick so that lipstick doesn't look crusty and dusty. It is a really good lip balm of sorts. It does make my lips feel a lot more healthy and hydrated than I think any other lip product I've had in use day after day has, and my lips haven't gotten tired of it. You know how sometimes when you use a product for so long, like the effectiveness stops being as impactful as it once was because your body is used to it or something. Like, I don't feel that way with this product. This is not going to be gone anytime soon, but I'm actually really super excited about the usage that we're seeing happen in this. Like, it is halfway down in the dude, and there's a nice little divot in the center where there already had been pan, right? And now we're starting to see it come down off the sides of the walls and kind of form again in the center section there. I do think that it's probably going to be easily another year before it's out of my collection, but I love this lip treatment. I think it is beautiful. It's beautiful on its own. It's beautiful over the top of the lipstick, and I'm happy to have it in my collection. So no rush is necessary to get it out of here. It's definitely not a product that I'm hate panning. It's just also not a product that's going anywhere anytime soon. The next one, and also one that's been in since January, is my Makeup by Mario Sculpt Stick. This one has been in, again, since the 1st of January, but was part of my project last year and the year before that. It started the year before that just barely in my project pan, and then last year I did empty the other component that this was in. It was a Makeup by Mario Sculpt Stick, obviously. It is not in its correct component. The component broke, so I put it into two different things. I emptied one last year and then started on the second one in my project pan. This was pretty full when I rolled it in. I have melted this down, I think, twice or 3 times now, and this is where we're at again. It did not take me long to hit that pan in there again, so I definitely think this will be gone by December. Now, just for reference, I wore my makeup 19 times in October, in the 31 days in October. Not every single one of those days was I wearing a contour, but when I was wearing a contour, I was wearing this one because I don't have a cream one in my Shop My Stash right now, on purpose, making sure that I could get some more use out of this. So this was weighing 44.96 grams when we rolled it in this year to Project Pan. Last month it was weighing 40.05 grams of product, and this month it's weighing 39.28 grams of product for a total usage of 0.77 grams, and I think that that's fair. I use actually quite a bit of it when I do use it because I'm not just contouring the hollows of my cheeks right. I'm also getting up on my forehead. I'm also getting down on my jawline. I also contour like right underneath my lip to make it just a little bit more pouty. Like there's a lot of space that this is covering. And I use a pretty small brush in it. So I'm really excited to see the usage on here. When I melted it back down, I knew it wasn't very thick in there. I just don't think I knew it was as thin as it is. So I definitely see this leaving us next month by the end of the month. So by the time we talk finale, which is usually the first part of January, before I upload my 2026 project pan, probably in the finale, that will be gone for sure. I definitely do think, though, that I need all of November and all of December to get through with it. There was nothing else that was rolled in January, February, March, or April that is still in the project. The next one we have is two rolled in May, one being the ColourPop lip liner. I, due diligence, tried to get this used up, and used up I did, but the last time I opened it up, I don't know if the lead fell out that time or if the lead fell out the time before, but it no longer has its lead in there. So I went to try and use it a few days ago, and it no longer had the lead, for lack of better words, in there. So we're calling this done. There wasn't very much left in there anyways. I think I showed you guys in the last video. This did roll in May, weighing 5.63 ounces of product, or grams of product. If I've been saying ounces, I've meant grams. 5.63 grams of product, and last month it weighed 3.44 grams of product, and this month it weighs 3.0 grams of product, for a difference of 0.44 grams. So it did use quite a bit over the last, month's time, but just this last little nubbin of lead, for lack of better words, has disappeared, and I don't know when that happened, so we're calling it good. I didn't roll it into the project as a full-on lip liner, but I do know for me, ColourPop lip liners go really, really quickly. I used to think that they were the best, but I don't really think that they're the best anymore. There are definitely lip liners that last a lot longer. These are very creamy and very nice, don't get me wrong, but they just don't last as long as, like I would say, my Natasha Denona or my Charlotte Tilbury, my Makeup Forever. Like the higher end lip liners definitely last longer. I would even say the Milani one that I'm wearing today lasts longer than the ColourPop one and is just as creamy. I'm not really sure what the take is on ColourPop lip liners out in the generalized community anymore, but I will say I do like a good ColourPop lip liner. They just aren't as good as I remember them being, and I can go through them in no time flat. That was in this project since May, like I said, and it's already done. Granted, I didn't wear it every single day since May. I could almost guarantee if I had put a same size Charlotte Tilbury in here, it would have still been there. I think part of the problem with the ColourPop ones though, and this one was an old one specifically, is that their leads fall out and then they dry out and they break and all the things. So I think that that's a problem with like the manufacturing of how they deliver the item, but I loved it. It was in the shade Oh Snap. It is a dupe for Iconic Nude, and I had a video that I did showcasing that years ago. That one was the one that I think came the closest, and I love it. I don't have a problem with it, but I am also happy that it is no longer in my collection. That's one more lip liner down. The next item also rolled in May was the Ulta Beauty eye primer. Again, this is a favorite eye primer for me. I think the only reason why I rolled it in is because it was an item that I knew I would use and love using and use every day, and it was about half empty when I rolled it in here anyway, so it was going to be an easy product for me to try and get to use. And you guys can see that it is really, really flat through here, so there is not much left in here. I don't think that this like little triangle area here even has as much product in it as is showcased by how big that triangle area is, but this rolled in May at 12.34 grams of product. Last month it weighed 10.03 grams of product. This month it weighs 9.48 grams of product for a total usage of 0.55 grams of product. Again, I wore makeup 19 times last month. I think that that's a fair amount considering I didn't wear eyeshadow every single day, but I do wear eye makeup most days that I wear my makeup. So probably 15 out of 19 days I was wearing eye makeup. So this did get an incredible amount of use. I do think this will be gone by the end of December, if not by the end of November. You can never tell how much is in there, but you literally don't use very much eye primer at all when you're using eye primer. I would repurchase that. I like it a lot. I just recently got a little mini one in a gift bag that was sent to me from Ulta because of a gift with purchase. So I won't be purchasing it anytime soon, but I would definitely repurchase that. It's one of my favorite eye primers. The next one is the LOC Shadow Stick. This was rolled in June, and this is what we're looking like right now. I think that it is really, really tiny. It started out not super big though, so I think that you guys can see it is though quite a bit smaller than it was when we first rolled it in. And you guys will see on the like little pencil tracker, like where I do the measurements on, just how much has been used. I don't use this on my eyes very often. I do use it on my inner corner an awful lot. I do also like color it onto my hand and then pick it up on a sponge and put it on my face as a highlighter. I think that is where the majority of the use is coming from. There's an awful lot of it that I have to put on my hand in order to pick it up on my sponge or a brush, but I don't think any of it is going to waste because by the time I'm going to wipe it off of my hand, there is very little product left on my hand. So it's definitely not like using it or abusive use of it just to get it done, but I can definitely tell that this is not the same formula anymore than it was even when I rolled it in June. And it's definitely not the same formula as the other LOC pencil that I had in my project pan last year that I used up. It's just really hard to use. It's crumbly. It is still, you know, kind of creamy. It doesn't bother my eye or anything like that. I know I have a friend, Andy, here on the platform that tried to use hers in collaboration with me, and hers really bothered her eyes. Mine isn't doing that, thank goodness. This rolled in June at 27.25 grams of product. Last month it weighed 25.16 grams of product. This month it weighs 24.90 grams of product for a total usage of 0.26 grams of product in those 19 days that I wore makeup. I think that's fair. It's not something that I'm wearing every single day. When I am using it, I'm using quite a bit of product because I need to pick it up on a brush or on a sponge. I think that if it were being used as a shadow stick, we'd probably see far less of this product being used. But I'm happy to say I do think that it'll be gone by the end of next month, by the end of December in the finale. So like I'm looking at this pile here and there's 1, 2, 3 of the last 4 still in use products that I can see being gone by the finale in December, which is so exciting to me. This one is mystifying. It's so funny to me because one of my friends out here on the YouTube's Marielle, she put in my comment section, I wonder how long that little powder would last for me. I don't use powder yet. I have a ton of it. So I rolled a mini powder in here thinking, oh, this is going to be easy peasy. This isn't going to last very long. Little did I know that there was so much powder in this little tiny mini. In July, I rolled in this little tiny itty bitty Cover FX powder, just a little translucent powder. There's literally so little product in here. It says that there is 1 gram of product in here. 1 gram. I don't know about that. I think it might be a lie. Because I've used 1 gram of product total. I've used over 1 gram of product total. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on here. I tried to, again, pound it out so we can see like where it's sitting. I did draw some lines there. The Cover FX powder rolled in July at 9.76 grams of product. Last month it weighed 8.78 grams of product, so almost 1 entire gram had been used. This month it weighs 8.41 grams of product, which means we use 0.37 more grams of product. And this is where we're sitting currently. I don't know if you can see the other lines here, but I did mark it on both sides. We're sitting about here on this guy. So not a whole heck of a lot left. Not a whole heck of a lot left. But how has this lasted so long? I have friends that could have blown, Mariel is one of them, could have blown through this powder in no time flat. This powder just takes me so long. And sometimes I feel guilty when I do use it because I have to, it's so tiny that I have to, you know, dump it out onto like my mixing tray or something like that to use it. And therefore there's an awful lot of powder that goes to waste. So sometimes I feel guilty. I should have maybe put this into a bigger component, but I don't really have another component to put a powder into without making a mess. And I like this one because it's got a nice little lip in here that closes, right? So that it doesn't make a mess when you're not using it. So there's that. It might be gone by December. I think that because we're finally starting to see like there is not very much powder left in here, I do think that I could have that gone by the end of December. But I think that there's way more than a gram in here because, again, I've used over a gram in this project alone since rolling it in July. The next 3 products I rolled in September. The first one being the Fenty Cheeks Out Cream Blush in Rose Latte. This was one that I had on my planned pan list, and then I put it into my deck of panning at the beginning of the year as an easy peasy blush product, thinking that I was going to be able to hit pan on this no problem. I think it was in my deck of panning for 8 months because I could not hit pan on it. So when I rolled it in here, it did have pan on it already, but it was a very small pan, and I think that you guys can see that pan has expanded quite significantly. I did clean it up a little bit, or tried to anyways, but this weighed 27.7 grams of product when we rolled it in September. Last month it weighed 27.58 grams of product. This month it weighs 27.13 grams of product for a total use in the last month of 0.45 grams of product. And it is the blush that I'm wearing today. It's a blush that I wear often. It has stained my blender sponge because I am using a blender sponge for the most part to dig in there. There's a couple times I've used a brush with it. I just don't love the application of it with a brush, but I do love this blush. I'm really glad that it made it back into my project pan, and I'm really glad that it is a blush that I'm working on in the fall because I feel like it's a good tone for, I mean, I could be blush blind with this blush and I don't think it would be horrible on my skin tone, especially not for the season that we're sitting in. So this will likely not be gone and done by the end of December for the finale, but I do think we are going to see not much of this left and probably be easily able to finish it in 2026's project pan. And the next one was a Clinique lipstick, and this rolled in also in September, 12.68 grams. I didn't use it very much in September, so in October it only weighed 12.58 grams, and I have to be honest, I didn't wear it a whole hell of a lot this month either, but I did wear it a little bit more than I did in September, obviously, because we are sitting at 12.28 grams for a total usage in the last month of 0.30 grams, and this is where we're at currently. I think that you'll be able to see on the little measurement tracker as well that there was actually quite a bit of usage that happened with this lipstick. I think it's just really an easy lipstick for me to wear because it goes on more like a gloss. And it's really pretty. It's got a little bit of sparkle in it. It's actually really pretty. This is one of the Clinique Pop lipsticks in the shade Bear Pop, and it's one of my favorites by them. So I'm just on a mission to get through all of my mini lipsticks. They are close to expiring. I would venture to say they're expired already. This is like 6 years old or more in my collection. It still smells. Yeah, it still smells fine. They just made lipstick differently back then, for sure. It doesn't go bad nearly as quickly as some of the stuff these days. I don't think it will be gone by the end of December, but it's also one of those products I could roll into next year's project pan and know that it would be done at least halfway through. Lipstick is so hard to get through though. So not in any rush. I know it's going to take a minute, so I'm just using it as organically as possible, and we'll just get through it as organically as possible. The next one is my NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil. This you're not going to see a whole lot of change on the tracker or anything like that. I literally use this in my inner corner only. I will take a brush and swirl it over the top and then swirl it into my inner corner. It is in my inner corner today. I love it in that way, but that's how I've been using it. I think I've sharpened it once so far in 2 months. Maybe. I think that on the tracker, you'll see that it doesn't even look like I have sharpened it. Maybe I haven't sharpened it, but it weighed 10.14 grams of product when we rolled it in September. It weighed 9.85 grams last month. This month it weighs 9.71 grams of product. So 0.14 grams of product used month to month. That sounds fair. Like I said, I use enough to swirl my brush on it and pop it into my inner corner when I wear it. That's how I wear it. Is this going anywhere? Likely not. Those pencils last forever. They just do. I used to use this as a primer on my eyes, as an eye primer, and if I was still using it as an eye primer, I think it wouldn't take me nearly as long to get through it. But that is like the third NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in milk that I've had in my collection, and that one has lasted by far the longest because I just stopped using it as an eye primer because I found other eye primers I love, but I also found a white fluid eye paint from About Face, and I love these so much, and they are just better and a little less emollient, so cause a lot less distraction. The last two items are from October, things that I rolled in last month. The first one being the e.l.f. Power Grip. This is a primer that I like, but it's just kind of a meh kind of primer for me. I don't necessarily love a gripping primer because I don't really necessarily feel like I have a problem with my makeup leaving my face. So I don't necessarily think that I need a gripping primer. I know every kind of primer has a time and place though, so I will always have gripping primers in my collection because I do like that you can dab them on some of those more highly trafficked areas like your nose, your mouth, you know, your forehead, your eyes, your ear area, you know, where you're holding your phone, whatever, to make sure that the makeup sticks to your face there. I haven't tried the jelly pop that Erin talks about all the time that I think would probably be fabulous. I should maybe try it, but you can not get your hands on that anymore. That's not going to happen. But I put this in here. It was a primer that I was almost done with, primer that I enjoy using. I can't make another mark on it, which is totally fine, but I did roll it in last month at 29.37 grams. Today it weighs 28.11 grams for a total usage of 1.26 grams, and I think that that's a fair amount. I don't use it every single time, and when I do use it, it's just in this area of my face. It's not all over my face, and you don't use very much because you don't spread it, you push it into your face. So I wasn't able to make a new marking, but I'm happy with the weight that we're seeing deplete because I know I'm using it. You know I'm using it, so there's that. And then the last one is the Buxom Powerline, which is an eyeliner that I rolled in just to get another black eyeliner out of the way. This one actually kind of shocks me because I feel like, and you'll see on the tracker as well, this is where we're at right now. I feel like we've used so much of this, but here's the thing. I think that this is a weird pencil for me because I feel like it doesn't really work all that great. It works. Don't get me wrong. I feel like it works good in moments like this. But like I use it for tight lining and then flicking a little bit for a wing for like my no makeup days. And it doesn't work super great at tight lining. So I have to go over and over and over and over and over that space in order to get it on my eyes, and then my eyes are watery, and as you can see, water takes it right off. So any amount of watering eyes I have, then I no longer have an eyeliner on my tight line. So I feel like I've used a heck of a lot of this, but I know I'm not using a heck of a lot of it. So then I'm like, did it break? I don't remember it breaking, but maybe it broke. I try just to, like, I mean, literally that's as far up as I take it when I do my tight lines, because I do have to hold it, you know, so that it gets the whole tight line instead of like lengthwise. It's sitting like widthwise, which is not very sturdy. So I don't know, maybe it broke. I don't remember it breaking, but I feel like we've used an awful lot of it. So time will tell. I do think that this will be a black eyeliner that leaves my collection by the end of December. So I do think this will be gone by the finale, which is also exciting to me. But clearly all the weight is in the component and not in the product, because this didn't lose a pound. Not an ounce, not a gram, not a nothing in the last month. It rolled in at 7.28 grams. It weighs 7.28 grams today. It weighs nothing less than it did before, yet you can see in the tracker and obviously see in me showing you like this that it has lost a significant amount of the pencil. So it's not my favorite, y'all. It's not my favorite. It disappears by the end of the day. You can't tell that I even put eyeliner on my tight lines, so that drives me nuts. It is in my tight line today, but I did top it with the Clinique High Impact Gel Tech Liner, which I feel like is leaps and bounds better than that Buxom one and about the same price point, and really, really black, whereas I don't feel like the Buxom one is really, really black. Anyways, wow, the wind just got crazy out there. Anyways, that's it. That's what I have for you for my project pan. As you guys heard, I did have one empty, but I don't think that I'm going to roll in another product. The biggest reason why is because we just have November and December to get through, and I'm certain I'm not going to be able to roll in another product right now and have it rolled out by the end of December. And if you guys are familiar with my channel, you know that I finish 1 year's project pan and then I start it over, and I'd like to start the year over with the least amount of repeat products from this year as possible. And if I brought a product in right now, I would just roll that into next year's project, right? But as it stands right now, without that project or product in, I do think that all 6 of these products will likely roll out before the finale, which means that there will only be 4 products rolling over into my project pan for next year. And that's exciting to me, because I think every year I've had probably 6 out of the 10, which puts me into a poor place for my plan to pan for the year, right? So I'm going to work on my plan to pan, and I'm not going to roll another product in this year, and I'm going to start 2026's project pan with an almost entirely new refresh of products, which excites me so much. So I hope that sounds like fun and games to you. I hope that you guys aren't offended I'm not rolling in something new. I know that that is the funnest part of project panning, but I am really excited about the 6 items I can see sitting in front of me that I think will roll out by the finale, if not before. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope that you and yours are well. Let me know what you're project panning, and if I can find your project pan on your channel. I know I've had a couple of new channels I've been watching project panning for. It's because they've hit me up in my comments section. I will come and find you guys too. So all of you guys out there, like, I just love what you guys are doing, and would love if you let me know down in the comment section if you have something I can come and watch or come and support for you, because I would love to support you. And with that said, please remember, I don't always comment everything. You guys will see ideal subscriber tag coming soon. You will find out. I hardly ever comment on anything, but I always am liking everything. So there's that. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope that you and yours are well. I hope that you're all safe and healthy and getting along as best that you can. I hope that you're all loving each other, being kind humans, and living your best life. And until next time, bye, friends.